Hello and welcome to my video where I'm going to show you how to make some strong shelves out of cardboard. These shelves are made from multiple layers of cardboard to make them super strong and sturdy, and the stronger you want them to be, the more layers you'll need to use. This could be used for books or shoes or anything else you can think of. In order to follow along with this project, you will need a cardboard box, double-walled cardboard sheets, glue, an old paintbrush, a utility knife, a metal ruler, a cutting mat, scissors, a pencil or pen, self-adhesive vinyl, wallpaper, white mat board, books, and some bulldog clips. In terms of the cardboard box, you want it to be the same size as the shelving unit you want to make. If you can't find one, you could construct it from scratch instead. It's just easier to use a box as the starting point. For the double-walled cardboard sheets, you can recycle sturdy packaging for this, or you can buy a pack of large sheets. You'll need at least a couple of sheets the same size as the size of the cardboard box you're using. The sheets I used were 50 by 35 centimeters, and I needed about 9. For the glue, I used wood glue for the cardboard and PVA glue for the wallpaper, and I used an old paintbrush to apply it. The self-adhesive vinyl is obviously a wood grain effect, and the wallpaper I just used because I had some left over. But if you don't have any, you can just use some other thick paper instead. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is decide which side of the box you're going to cut out, and this will become the front of the cupboard. Leave 2 flaps attached at the top, like so. Then you need to cut out 5 cardboard sheets. 1 the same size as the inner base, 2 the same size as the outer sides, 1 the same size as the inner top, and 1 the same size as the outer top. For these pieces, I marked out the sizes I wanted on cardboard sheets, then used a utility knife and metal ruler to cut them out. Make sure you do this on top of your cutting mat. Then brush wood glue onto the inner base and attach the corresponding cardboard piece. Add weights on top whilst it dries. You'll see that I'll be using a candle, some books and some boxes of wallpaper as the weights. Then glue the underside of the 2 top flaps and attach the corresponding piece underneath. I held it in place with bulldog clips. Then attach the top piece in the same way, adding weights on top until it dries. When the glue has dried, you can repeat the same steps for the 2 side pieces to attach them onto the sides on the outside of the box. Lay the box on its side and add weights until these dry as well. Next, measure and cut out 3 more pieces of cardboard, all the same size as the inside of the box. i.e. these will be the same size as the inner base. Then glue these 3 pieces together with wood glue. Note that I made my shelf a snug fit, but if you want it to be removable later on, make sure the pieces can slide in and out of the box easily. Put weight on top and leave the glue to dry. I definitely recommend drawing an arrow on the underside of this shelf to show you which way it's supposed to slide into place, just in case it's not exactly symmetrical. Next, for the 2 inner side walls, cut out 3 cardboard pieces. You want 3 pieces the same size for each side, and you should make them the same as the width of the inside, but the height should be the height of the inside minus the depth of the shelf you just made. Therefore, when you put the pieces inside the box, there should be a gap at the top, like so. Make sure to label the side of each piece which will be in contact with the cardboard box to show you what side the piece needs to go on, which end is up, etc. Basically, where it needs to be positioned. Now take 1 set of 3 cardboard pieces, i.e. 3 for the right side or 3 for the left side, and cut them all in half. Make sure you keep the matching pieces together and orientated in the same way throughout so they don't get mixed up. You'll then have 6 pieces, 3 which will go at the top and 3 which will go at the bottom of one side of the box. Glue together the 3 top pieces and glue together the 3 bottom pieces. Use wood glue and add weight on top until the glue dries. Repeat the same for the set of 3 cardboard pieces for the other side of the box. You'll then have 4 rectangles of cardboard, each 3 layers thick. Definitely keep these sections labelled throughout so you know which piece goes where and in which direction they need to be orientated. I then used wood glue to attach the lower side pieces to the inside of the box. What would have been easier would have been to cover these sections and the inside back of the box with wallpaper first, however, either way works. Meanwhile, cut out a piece of the wood grain vinyl that's a bit bigger than the shelf you've made. Peel off the backing and then attach it to the top of the shelf. Take note of which way you want the wood grain to go. I used the arrow I drew on the underside of the shelf earlier as my guide. Make sure to smooth out any wrinkles with your hands. Then turn the shelf over onto a cutting mat and use your utility knife to carefully cut away any excess vinyl for a neat finish. Repeat the same concept for the 2 sides as well as the top of the cardboard box. So cut a piece of vinyl a bit bigger than one side, peel off the backing, attach the vinyl, smooth it on, then cut off the excess vinyl. You'll want the wood grain to run vertically up the sides. Next, you'll need to paper the inside of the box. So roughly cut out a piece of wallpaper a bit bigger than what you'll need to cover the back, and then push it into position inside the box. Fold the wallpaper inwards to show where you need to cut it to make it the same size as the back. Then use scissors to cut along these folds. Once it's the right size, apply a thin layer of PVA glue underneath and smooth the paper down on top. Then repeat this method to cover the 2 side pieces already glued in. If you haven't glued them in yet, cover the fronts in wallpaper first and then glue them into the box. Leave the glue to dry. Then add vinyl to the floor of the box. Next, slide the shelf into place inside the box so it rests on top of the lower side pieces. There's no need to glue, especially if you want it removable. Then test if the upper side pieces fit into place above this shelf, and if they don't, now is the time to trim them down until they fit perfectly. Then apply a thin layer of PVA glue to the front of each of these pieces. Add pieces of wallpaper that are a bit too big. Smooth out the paper, and then leave the glue to dry. Once dry, use your knife to trim off the excess paper. Glue these upper side pieces into place. Then to tidy up the front edges, I decided to cover them with a single piece of white mat board. To do this, I traced around the outside of the box onto the back of the mat board. Then I used my ruler to measure the openings on the front of the box and transferred these measurements onto the board. Cut along these lines using your utility knife, metal ruler and cutting mat. Err on the side of caution, as it's better to remove too little material than too much. Cutting out too much board will leave parts of the cardboard edges exposed and look messy. Use a strong glue to attach the mat board in place on the front of the box. I used UHU all-purpose adhesive this time, but you can just use wood glue. Note that if you want the shelf to be removable, you can do that. You'll just need to attach a separate piece of board to the front of the shelf. The rest of the mat board can be in one piece. And that's it, the cupboard is complete. And as you can see, the shelf is strong enough to carry books. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you very much for watching.